Hello. Welcome back to the Gathering Hall. We're going to talk about this controller. This controller makes me sad in many ways, but very happy in some other ways. Let's get into that. So, we have here the GameCube controller for Nintendo Switch 2, right? This controller feels almost identical to the original GameCube controller. It's a very, very nice controller. I like this controller quite a bit. Like, the joystick is perfect. The D-pad is perfect. The C-stick, buttons, everything about this controller feels nice. So, why is it that I don't like this controller? What is it about this controller that drives me crazy? Let me show you. So the GameCube controller that Nintendo released for the Switch 2 is almost compatible with almost every game on the Switch 2. You can use this in place of a Pro Controller for most games. Some games. Can't really say most. Because if you go into the test input devices, right, and you test the controller buttons, you've got X, Y, A, B, ZR, ZL, R. You've got the D-pad. You've got start. But, wait a minute. There's no minus button. Okay. Now, Nintendo, the original GameCube controller did not have the minus button. So, we can overlook that, right? Wrong! Because the original GameCube controller did not have a ZL button, nor did it have a share button, or a home button, or the chat button, or the sync button. So it is baffling to me that Nintendo did not include a minus button somewhere on this controller to make it compatible with games across the board. The other missing buttons would be your L3 and your R3. These sticks do not click in at all. They just don't. They don't click in. That's a missed opportunity to me. For that reason alone, I can't recommend this controller. I just can't recommend it for anything except for GameCube emulation on Switch, which the library that they have available for the GameCube is, in my opinion, kind of lacking. So that kind of already makes it feel like this controller is missing out a little bit. So you go into the GameCube selection and you think, you know what? I spent the money on this. At least I can play a couple GameCube games, right? A couple is right. This is it. That is the selection of games they've given us to play. That is pathetic. That is pathetic, especially considering that we know that these are just emulated ROMs, right? It's crazy to me. So anyways, that aside, let's get close to this controller so I can show you the other issues that I have with it before I give you my final thoughts on it. So the thing that I find even more confusing is this controller, right? This GameCube controller right here has motion controls built in. It has motion controls built in. The original GameCube controller did not have motion controls built in, so I don't really understand why they decided to omit adding a start button back here, or a minus button rather, like they did for these other buttons that you see here. The other issue that I have is, for some reason, they did not make the other bumper a Z button. Why in the world would they do that? This button is nearly impossible to use in a comfortable fashion. It is so small and so hard to press in when you're playing. It's just baffling to me. Baffling. But yeah, you've got your home, you've got your share, you've got your chat button, you've got ZR and ZL and R and L. Or, whatever. Reversed. No, I had that right. So it's a really, really strange decision that they've made with this controller. If they had just added those extra buttons, this controller would literally have replaced my Pro Controller as my go-to controller for Switch 2. Because otherwise, it has every feature that you need, including motion controls, to play games on the Switch. It's just really frustrating. Because I adore this controller's form factor. I have always loved the face buttons layout here. It's my favorite controller ever, man. So it's really disappointing that they did that. They did the same thing with this one, by the way. This one is also missing buttons for no reason. So at the end of the day, what do I think about this controller? I'm really, really torn on this one in a way that I haven't been with any controller ever. This controller is so confusing. Like I said, man, it's so close. It's so close to being a replacement for the Pro Controller, which, honestly, I don't like this Pro Controller. I don't like the Switch 2 Pro Controller. The face buttons are so squishy. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all, actually. So when I saw that Nintendo had released this controller with updated buttons and, accessibility features for Switch games, I thought, perfect, I'll just pick one of those up, and then I'll use this to play all my Switch games. I can't do that. And with the paltry selection of GameCube titles available on Switch 2 as of right now, well, it is today. Today is the 5th of September of 2025. I can't recommend this controller. It's expensive for what you get, and that's kind of the case for a lot of first-party accessories for the Switch and for the other consoles like the PlayStation as well. But I cannot say that I hate this controller in the same breath, though. We just finished up a live stream, actually, where I played 2.5 hours of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands plus Star-Crossed World Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Best name for a game ever. Just rolls right off the tongue. But I played 2.5 hours on this controller in that game, and it's awesome. It is so good. It is so good. I've played first-person shooters on it. There's a game called Proteus or Prometheus or something along those lines. I'll put a thing on the screen. But it plays that game well. I've played platformers with it. Just like the GameCube controller, the D-pad sucks. That I can definitively say that they did a fantastic job of emulating the original D-pad for the GameCube, because it sucks still. But other than those things, man, like I said, I can't in good conscience recommend this controller, and that sucks. And by extension, I'm not going to do a review of it, but by extension, the exact same problems hit this one too. The exact same problems. Baffling design choices that just make the controller unfunctionable in some games. But anyways, bit of a shorter, I don't know if you want to call this a review, it's more like my thoughts on this GameCube controller. But if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you haven't subbed to the channel, consider doing that as well. We would love to have you here. We stream every single Friday. This upcoming Friday, we're probably going to be doing part 2 of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Very good game, very fun. But if you've got your hand on this controller, do you share my sentiments with it? Do you have the same issues that I have with it? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I will read them. But we'll catch you guys next time here on The Gathering Hall. Bye, everybody.